clutch. That's going to be delaying that EMP quite considerably. Now DM and Youngjin going to be finished off. The push forward comes in for the cleanup. An effective team wipe coming through as Gamsu on the point, going to be staggered even later than the rest of his squad. The first cap goes to Shock.
Sombra compositions rely on EMP, and they rely on fast EMP build times. And Ding is, one of the leading Sombras in the league at building those. But when he does reveal himself like that, Rascal is in waiting, and he gets picked immediately. He doesn't even have a fourth of his EMP, as they respawn here. He's just now hitting it. He's just now building up. But this is a great time build for the Shock.
Yep, bubble in. Oh, the flank coming in. Rascal misses out on that hook, so not going to be able to find a pick. He makes it out safely, taking a breather just to mitigate some of that damage coming in. Super goes around the corner, drops the hammer, but will not find any stuns. Coalescence now in from Violet. Super stunned up into the front, still flying forward, gets the swing, takes Ding out. Looking for a bit more, goes for the charge, finds Youngjin, and they manage to keep him alive through all of it.
Now the next fight is
no D-Matrix going to be able to be used. Shadow comes down from Gamsu, manages to find Violet and Rascal. They will clean up both of those members from the side of the Shock. Super as well. They crumble under the pressure. A boot ball from Moth leads to Gamsu's death, but seems like the flip will be coming in. Not going to be 100-0 here. Shanghai gain control.
And then we will now see swaps to the Zenyatta. We will see Rascal swap over to the Brigida. The Shanghai Dragons are set up with another grab here and this EMP to hold as we see staggers onto Choyobin. Nicely done. But this should be a pretty easy fight for the Dragons to take, again, because they have ult advantage. The Shock are hoping to just eventually get 6 ultimates and flip the point and take this map. But this next fight is going to be a tough one.
EMP is going to be coming through instantly. Violet going to be disappearing. The beat a bit too late there from Moth, and now he's going to be hacked out. So already have to peel back. So one support ultimate going to be taken away. Violet unable to build up much towards that Transcendence, but Luffy isn't leading by much as well.
Yeah, a lot of teams, have been just letting these Sombra fights go and holding their support ultimates, but the Shock commit, still lose. That's rough. That's expensive.
Another hack on the Choyobin. That means a grab can come in for free on the side of the Dragons. Push forward, and the kills are going to be there. Luffy scooping up 2, surges him up to 88%.
And that's the second time we've seen this hack come through from Ding onto Choyobin to guarantee the grab placement. The Shock aren't able to identify where Ding is fast enough to prevent the hack onto Choyobin. And now we're seeing the San Francisco Shock starting to panic a little bit because they don't have the tools required to flip this point. Sinatra's half a grab right now. And if an EMP builds first, they're in big trouble here.
He's going to be looking for it into the back. Trying to find some damage there onto Violet. Unable to get the stun. Violet, a sliver of HP.
And he gets the trance.
Does manage to stay alive. The trance going to be online. Actually comes back in and picks off the M. That's going to be massive. The shadow there from Gamsu goes straight into Super Shield. And that is going to be the opening now for the Shock to retake. Dragons with the lead, 85%.
Right now, Sombra is played by off-tank players, right? The D.Va player usually is the one who does it. Choyobin's job is to find Ding, prevent him from getting a big EMP, prevent him from getting that last 10% charge. But because he's so close, the next thing that the Shock need to do is to guarantee Violet is not hit by that EMP. Violet needs to stay back. If he can keep his team healed through the EMP, you see the counter grab come through. And it's a one fight, and it's a one round. This fight decides everything.
Grabs ready, Sinatra just pushing straight past the Rhine Shield. Drops it down, DM going to be taken out. The EMP is still going to be committed to the fight, but the Transcendence is good from Violet. 4 members hacked out, but no one going to be taken down on the side of the Shock. Shatter comes in from Super, just looking to delay them as we hit 99%. Shock trying to close out the round. Coma pushes forward, keeping this one contested, but Youngjin going to be taken out. The beat for good measure out now for Moth. OT ticking away. Can anyone get to the point? They cannot. 185%. Shock. They keep the streak hopes alive here as they go ahead and take the first round on Oasis.
Pretty dominant performance from them as well, keeping their ults ahead. There was only that one moment where they were slipping when we did see Moth use the sound barrier. They didn't have great tools to flip back early, but they made it happen and then were able to hold there in that last fight off a very aggressive play from Sinatra looking for the grab before the EMP, which meant that there wasn't a lot of follow-up damage for Ding's EMP because everyone was out of position. They weren't fighting on the point, and a lot of the members were still hacked. Or, rather, a lot of members were still caught in the grab when the hack came out. And for the Shock, I feel like they haven't really modified their playstyle much to deal with Ding. They're just trying to play around Sombra win rates, win conditions. And that's the moment where, you know, you could see some of these adaptations we're seeing from other teams come into play, but the Shock are just going to stick to their style, and so far, so good.
Well, here now on Garden. Seems like some swaps going to be coming through. Super wanting to match with the Reinhardt, perhaps. Just be changing it up. So, yeah, Ryan coming in. Moth there to taxi him to get him back over. Fast enough, so might actually still be able to contest for this first cap, as it still has not unlocked yet.
I'm just going to try to use this right side here and the extra burst healing from Violet on the Moira to take control of the high ground. Here they come.
Yeah, Super going to be swinging away, trying to force him off the high ground here. Manages to do so. So all of Shanghai just going to be dropping down. DM off on the flank, just going to be lobbing these shots and trying to build up that energy. He's going to get stunned up, taken down below half HP, trying to survive, but Super pursues, comes up with that final hammer swing and takes him down. Rascal going to be the only one lost on the side of the Shock so far. Violet keeping everybody else topped up with a very fast Coalescence build. The first cap will go to the Shock, in fact.
Yeah, very much a better target selection set up for the San Francisco Shock. They were able to target down members of the Shanghai Dragons overextended, trying to kill Super. He was the first target, then they pivoted over to Sinatra. And when you have burst healing coming out from a Moira, it's hard to get that initial kill, and it's easy for the team to fall into disarray in terms of what they're choosing to target. Ding has an EMP now for this next push. There's no counter support ultimate, but the follow-up isn't that great here for the Shanghai Dragons either.
Yep, no barrier available. Pushing forward, Young Jin just going to be taken down, so maybe wants to hold on to the EMP for a bit longer. We'll go ahead and jump out with the translocator, and seems like the Shanghai Dragons will call the retreat.
Yeah, they have to. Shock identified, you know, with Choi Ho-bin that the Sombra player wasn't anywhere near them. They decided to collapse into the rest of the Dragons, who were clearly trying to set up for that EMP fight. Killed them before the EMP could happen. Got to skip that whole EMP push. Now it's available again. But they bought so much time.
Ding waiting for his moment, sees them dropping down. Saw Moth over onto the side. Rally out from Rascal. Seems like Shanghai just trying to play around that, wait for it to expire so the armor stops rolling through. Now they pop their own rally, they push forward. Cheddar coming out from Super, but he's going to get melted down. Gamsu finds a kill, bomb straight in over the top looking for the picks, but it's going to be unable to find anything. The members of the Shock is going to get cleaned up as the flip gets ready to come through for Shanghai.
This is a really cool setup for the Shanghai Dragons. What they used was not the EMP to win the fight, but the threat of the EMP, which kept the Shock constantly wondering where was it. Super was pushing forward. They were trying to do the same sort of fight they did previously, where they took the fight before the EMP was activated, but they got out of position, lost the neutral fight, and then the EMP just helped clean everything up. We're just going to see Dean continue to try to hack Choi, so this Grav can come through, and also so we can farm more EMP charge.
Those manage to find it. Coalescence to start things. As Violet pushes forward, trying to keep everybody topped up. Diem lobbing in that grab, catches Rascal by himself. Beat going to be committed, and he's still not taken down. Still hovering around half HP, but he retreats into the back lines to try to stay alive. Sinatra's caught way out into the front. Will be taken out by DM. So still going to be a very positive trade up here for the side of the Shanghai Dragons as they lose nobody and continue to chase forward to try to kill off Super.
And the support metronome just keeps swinging because you go from EMP into hack onto Grav. The Grav builds you an EMP in that fight. Then you've got another EMP for the ensuing fight, and then it just continues. During this fight, if they win it, DM should probably build another Grav. There's no support ultimates for the Shock ready. Violet swapped over to this Zenyatta, but it's not going to be, he's not going to have the ult charge required to shut down this EMP. So this is a fantastic position for the Shanghai Dragons.
Not really the best the Shock can hope for right now is that Dink botches this one, or that they get the bash as he tries to come out of stealth with the EMP. See the translocator going up on top right now. Super pushes forward, drops the hammer. Not going to be able to find any shots. Gamsu, he responds. Two members going to be knocked down. The rest of them going to be hacked out. Sinatra as well getting caught up in that mess. And now Super going to be eliminated. The cleanup coming through as they chase forward yet again. Shanghai Dragons, they have the advantage. They're in the lead. They have the point. Shock, they have one more push.
They certainly do. One more is all they're going to get, though. And, you know, that was on the back of Gamsu's Shatter. The responding Shatter there gets up so much value. And they have a Graviton Surge. Violet Transcends isn't ready. He needs to rush to get it, but they don't have time. One hack on Choi Ho-bin means the grab is free, and there it is!
Oh, they grabbed off the point, just like that. Shanghai Dragons tying us up on Oasis. One more round, City Center to decide if the streak continues for the San Francisco Shock, if they can start this series off with a win, or if Shanghai Dragons will shut them down.
I spoke to Levy just before this series, former coach of Ella Mystic, now coaching the Shanghai Dragons, about what he thought about the previous series, what he thought about this series, and he said, they didn't win that last series. We lost it. We're very confident we could do it better today. If we play the same style, we play a little bit better. We're going to take this series. They are playing the same style. It feels very similar to what we saw in the previous series. Let's see if they can keep up the momentum here. They are going to swap off the Sombra completely now, though, and run the Wrecking Ball composition Gamsu started, his run on the Dragons with at the very beginning.
See if they want to stay with it.
Yeah, I think they will here. Once they see this composition, it's great. It's very strong against the 3-3. It's very surprising often when you're not running this all too often.
Yeah, full wrap around here from the Shock. Ding just hovering constantly above them, putting these rockets in, and Violet's going to be taken down first. Now looking for a bit more as Moth gets chunked out. Looking for the direct hits. Ooh, almost finishes him off. One more rocket would have done it. He managed to survive for a little bit longer. Ding, however, still very healthy as he pushes forward straight into the back of Super. Moth pile driven, going to be taken down as Gamsu scoops himself a double kill. The first cap goes through for Shanghai.
It's so easy to make this far work if you know the approach angle the Shock are going to take, and Ding just hovered around them non-stop on this Pharah, and he took very little damage because there's no way to knock this Pharah out of the sky with the composition the Shock are running. Look at this, so much damage by the time they can even contest the point, and he's going to have a barrage ready in favorable position here around these chokes. Got to be really careful if you're the Shock. And you're not building any grab charge here. Super swapped over.
Violet's going to be taken down again. Healed an eye forward onto Sinatra. Super. No HP. No ability to survive. You get a stun here onto Gamsu, but he is perfectly healthy. And Sinatra looking a bit cut off, just trying to hide into the corner. But they push forward aggressively. They will be able to find that kill you would expect.
Something's going to have to change here, or the golden streak is ending right now.
Yeah, they're pushing forward, still looking for it. Ding going low, 27 HP. Had to peel his way out. They finally finished off Sinatra, but Troyoban able to go forward, find Safara. But now Violent's going to be gone, and the res is there.
The res is there. They have total control of this choke still. Even though the Tac Visors use one of the least impactful ultimates on their squad right now.
It's 5 ults.
Yeah. Look at all the chip damage they take before they could even contest the point. And that's not talking about the pulse bomb, the minefield to help contest the barrage here, as long as it's not eaten by Choi Ho Ben. He's looking for the flank behind. They do know where he is.
Waiting for his opportunity. Pulse bomb ready for DM. Super falling low. The barrage coming in. Ding going to be finished off. Super able to scoop the kill. A positive step here for the Shock, but they need a lot more than that, and they need to get the flip very quickly if they want to turn this on its head. Nearly 80% accrued here for the Shanghai Dragons. They'll be under some fire. DM, the sliver of HP, takes the recall, only going to bump himself up to 81. And there's Rascal waiting for him. Bashes him, gets the kill, but they still haven't flipped it. So Shanghai Dragons getting closer and closer to 99%.
And they're going to swap to 3-3 with Sombra here. It's not really 3-3, but Sombra Goats, as they call it, right? Gamsu might stick with this because he has the minefield, but I don't think he should. He's probably just going to swap right over to the Reinhardt. And what you only have to do as the Dragons is build an EMP, win one single team fight, and that is it. So the San Francisco Shock, they lead in ultimates right now. They're still sticking with the composition they started with, so they built those ultimates up. They need to use them efficiently, and they need to win about 3 to 4 team fights with these ultimates before that EMP could just flip this point.
Grab going to be coming out. They know that they do not have a diva, so just go ahead, catch out a couple members. Gamsu going with a pin, actually manages to kill Sinatra, but costs himself his own life. Super, forcing people to play in traffic. It's a couple kills that way.
That's a fantastic trade for Gamsu, though, because he prevents Sinatra from returning to the point with any energy. So his Zarya charge is going to be low. It's going to be back down to 0, so he's not going to have the same amount of damage. DM is going to be at the same fate, but they're building for that EMP. So right now, it's super important that Moth does not use the sound barrier for any reason. He needs to keep it. And that's tough, If you lose any fight, you lose the point. But he's got to be conservative with this. He's got to hold on to this.
All right, now forcing the drop down as they nearly get the cap. Bomb's going to be out from Choi Hyobin. Throws that one into the back, but everybody's able to escape. So does not come up with any kills. Still contested at the moment here. Gamsu going low. Top back up as the armor packs roll in from Youngjin. Trying to get that next rally online. Super. Rascal holding his big charge in from Gamsu. Goes a bit deep. Super getting juggled around. Going to be punished here as Youngjin comes up with the kill. The coalescence just not enough from Violet to try to keep him sustained.
The
Rascal
EMP
now going to be eliminated. Choi Hyobin hacked out, stunned up. Everybody falling on the side of the Shock. And Super, he knows it's dire straits. He's swapping over to the Hammond.
Yeah, the EMP is ready now, but I don't think they even necessarily need to use it. It's their last thing they've got on top of the Graviton Surge. San Francisco Shock, I don't think they could stop this. There's no way.
This could be
Moth is dead.
This would be such a major turnaround for the Shock if they're able to get this flip back through. But Super going to be eliminated. Rascal over onto the Doomfist, instantly getting melted down.
The streak is over.
Peel his way out of the fight. The OT's taken away. That's going to be the EMP dumped in. Grab comes through, catches 2 up into the front, but the damage just is not there. Sinatra returning with 0 energy, just can't get anything done. The OT ticks away. They manage to tag in one final time, but it's just one after the other getting picked off. And the Shanghai Dragons, they've shut it down. The streak gets cut here. 28-0 is as good as it gets. And now the Shanghai Dragons, their first playoff appearance, they start up 1-0.
That's as good as it gets, as you say, and they are looking to get revenge. Playoffs, more implications, more important than the regular season time they matched off just last week. And they're already starting off with a win. Huge momentum shift here.
Well, let's see if the Shock tie it up when he comes back, or if Shanghai moves up the match point.
The Overwatch League is brought to you by T-Mobile, now connecting 99% of Overwatch League fans. Catch your league on America's network, T-Mobile. And by State Farm. Whatever life brings your way, State Farm is here to help life go right.
Listen, the map streak had to end at some point. It had to end at some point.
Staying positive there are the San Francisco Shock after the win streak gets shut down. 28-0 is as good as it gets for now. And then, honestly, this may never be beaten again. It's still such a monumental task for this team to have accomplished it.
I don't know if we will ever see it again. It's going to be a long time, and the golden stage will be something that we'll bring up again if someone ever gets that close. For the San Francisco Shock, I feel like, to be honest with you, they are playing around Ding's Sombra so much so that they're getting into their own heads and sometimes putting themselves into bad neutral positions, meaning the tank line is getting into a position that's not favorable against what Gamsu is setting up. And regardless of whether Sombra is going to EMP or hack in the fight, Shanghai Dragons are winning neutral fights ultless sometimes because the Shock are forced to play around where Ding is positioned or where they think he's positioned oftentimes. So this is certainly something that I can see becoming a problem as the series progresses. We will head to Eichenwald. This is the map choice of the San Francisco Shock here. Very open map, much better to play on than maps like King's Row versus the Sombra.
Very true. But also, I mean, taking a look at the Pharah, the Soldier 76 coming through for the Shanghai Dragons, some of that is a bit possible here. The bunker composition set up on the defense at A, sometimes with a Symmetra, so you get that mobile bunker style, can flip back and forth from the low and the high ground. There's still room for experimentation here for the Shanghai Dragons, whereas it seems like Shock, at least on Oasis, weren't really willing to change things up, didn't respond well to that triple DPS that we saw in that final round in City Center.
It's very difficult to swap compositions in this meta, but we're seeing a lot of teams do it, Chengdu, for example, putting, their DPS onto McCree. There are ways to do it, but the Shock, they live and die by this style. And for this style
up until this
defense,
point, it was living.
Sure. By this defense, when we see Rascal on the Batiste, they usually play very far forward, but as soon as they see the composition, they are going to respect it and have to back off. Looks like we will see the Pharah you were mentioning with Ding here and Koma, the duo. Youngjin, going back to his signature Doomfist, became very popular in Korea. And he's on Kongdu Panthera for this pick.
Yeah,
Let's see if they can crack it.
It has cost him in the past, but Ding just taking down Violet off the bat. It's going to be another fantastic start. Youngjin falling low, but he'll get top back up here. As Luffy just gets those shots in. Rascal in the back lines trying to stay alive, but Ding gets that final shot. Direct hit. Finishes him off. Scoops up Moth as well. And that's just going to be the cleanup of the first point going the way of the Shanghai Dragons on the first attack.
Now, a lot of people are probably looking at this. You know, we've only had first map and first point of hybrid here. A lot of people probably look at this saying, oh, the Shock underperforming. What is going on? What is occurring? Why is this happening? Why are the Shanghai Dragons crushing them? And it's a style mismatch. The Dragon style, in a lot of ways, counters what the Shock are running, and it's becoming a big problem. Now they're swapping Sinatra off of his signature hero. He's the face of Zarya in this league onto the Sombra. Oh, no.
Yep, still just devastation at the hands of Ding with this man's Pharah. Seems like whatever he plays right now in the start of this series is just turning to gold. There's things that look absolutely stellar for him so far. Barrage going to be online, and when you're trying to exit the castle and there's a barrage ready to go, that makes things a bit more difficult. Ding going to be backing off, though.
Certainly, he's going to back off, but the cart, you know, is contested here. Nano boost.
Nano boost thrown in on the Ding.
Barrage.
Super going to be taking to the barrages there. Hack comes down. So the Pharah will be hitting the ground. They set up DM, but the kills just aren't going to be coming in. They continue to shut them down with this Pharah.
All right, let's talk about potential counters to the Pharah. You know, you can swap to long-range hit scan. You could swap to McCree. You can run your own Pharah. Running a Sombra here on the most open part of any hybrid map in the pool is not really commonly used as an answer. It can help you shut down Gamsu on the Wrecking Ball, but you're going to be constantly under pressure from the Brigida, you're going to be under pressure from the Tracer, and you're not going to be able to shut down the Pharah unless she's in position to be hacked, which she is usually not.
Minefield going to be thrown down right here in front of the gates. Moth made us about a boot bot. That's going to be Youngjin going off the side of the bridge. A decent start, but Ding nearly with another barrage ready to go. Moth, however, finds another one. Gets rid of Luffy. Koma pops a Valkyrie trying to stay alive. Has to exit, and for now, the Shock will be able to stabilize on the back of Moth.
Yeah, this is not uncommon to see Lucios get big kills here, environmental kills on this drawbridge. You know, Toby most famous for this, but it can happen to anyone. Composition here going to be changed. We're going to take a look at Moth just briefly getting these right clicks off, despite the stun, gets that kill there onto Youngjin.
But then makes another lap around.
But taking a look at what is changing here for the Shanghai Dragons, they're going to put Ding back onto the Sombra. They're going to match compositions. Sinatra has an EMP, but if this fight doesn't go well for the Shock, they're going to be very far behind in terms of ult charge for the Zaryas. This needs to be a big EMP.
Translocator going to be thrown in. Manages to catch 4 with the EMP. Gamsu taken down at the start. Seems like no follow-up kills going to be found for the San Francisco Shock, but single ult investment, they win the fight, they continue to drain the time bank.
And now the question becomes, will we see a swap from Sinatra? And it looks like the answer is yes, because you know you're behind in Zarya ult charge, but because the EMP was so good, you're not that far behind. It's very rare, only really Houston and Shock do this, to have the Sombra player played by the Zarya.
Well, pushing forward, Beat comes in to try to keep Super alive. Under a lot of pressure there in that front line. Gamsu charging forward as well, looking quite healthy. Koma in the corner, however, going lower and lower, but Youngjin manages to find the first kill. He will get punished for that one as Rascal takes him down with a whip shot. Transcendent's going to be out from Violet now to try to keep the rest of the team in the fight. EMP is set from Ding, as you say, and Rascal's going to be taken out, so now no chance of bashing him out of that EMP. Super comes up with 2. Violet going to get picked off. The cart's still contested. Shatter going to be used off screen by Super fighting inside the castle, and the Fire Strike finds DM. The Shock do maintain control.
We didn't get a huge glimpse of it, but Super whole-handedly turned this fight around. He got a double inside, made the pin happen, and if they had lost that fight inside the castle, you know, that's the real fight. I mean, obviously, Moth could buy unlimited time as Lucio there versus a Sombra, so there's never going to be a situation where Ding just, like, clinches the cart. But, you know, in this case where, you know, you're winning the fight in the castle, that's huge because now everyone has to reset. You bought so much time. EMP is ready, though.
No Beat ready. That's going to be 4 members hacked out. Trey Hopen dumping the bomb just beforehand to try to find a pick. Rascal going low. Super going lower. Does get taken down. The hack is good on a Moth. And he should get finished off unless he can exit. But no, Gamsu is there with the Fire Strike as he picks up 3 kills in the fight. They finish off Troy Hoban, and they will be able to roll it through. A lot of time bought, however, by the Shock. They'll bump up to about 3 minutes now for the Shanghai Dragons.
The real big takeaway from this, though, yeah, as you said, is the Shock buy time. Violet will get caught out of spawn here, split spawn, unfortunately, as he swapped to the Zenyatta. But The Shock have ult advantage, which is huge. Not only were they able to do this despite a late swap over back to the Zarya, but they did it against EMP as well. And so it's massive how much time they should be able to buy further now with Sinatra's grab coming up, how much they should be able to get support ults before.
Well, that's going to be huge. Lippy was so close to the Transcendence, so they take him down, and that's just going to be an ultless win.
So now they have even further potential to get those support ults ready before Ding is going to have the EMP. So they have all the tools, they have control of the bridge, and they have control of this choke. So for the Dragons, it's not easy now as Ding to even farm EMP. You're going through 2 different choke points. You're very likely to get caught and stunned by Rascal, revealed by Choihoben. So the game plan gets a lot weaker here now as they approach the castle, as you can see.
Back onto Sinatra. You know he has that grab. He's going to get bashed up here into the front line. Bubble unable to come through, and he will get taken down. Super dropping the hammer, not able to find anything either. Just brawling around the cart, but Youngjin swinging away like a madman. He's the one coming up with the kills. The cart can finally start advancing here. Shanghai getting ready to round the corner.
Ding is the kryptonite of the Shock. The hack follow-up was incredible from the Dragons. Sinatra even was armored by Rascal and still taken out. Great focus fire. They had a game plan going into this. They prevented the grab, and now the EMP out of the gates. This could be massive.
Grab's going to be lobbed in by Sinatra. The EMP coming through, catches 3, but the beat's going to be good from Moth. Keeps everybody else safe, at least for the moment. Luffy uses the Transcendence to try to keep everybody alive. Answering grab now in from DM. Violet has the Trance. Keeps Choihoben in the mech as he gets hacked. Nearly has that self-destruct online. A minute getting ready to approach here on the time bank. Dragons playing this one slowly. Push their way back around the corner. Wait to re-advance to get the hack here on the Super. They know he's isolated in the corner, but no one can push forward to get the kill on him. Super instead, he counter pushes. He comes up with one on the Gamsu. Now gets a fire strike onto the M to maybe shut them down.
Super is maintaining his composure super well under the pressure here against the Sombra play we're seeing from the Dragons. Great trance from Violet. Kept everybody alive. After that grabs on Surge came out, Super is able to get those clutch kills there once again. And now Ding, 15% away from that EMP, but he's going to have to cross a lot of distance to get value out of it. The Dragons essentially have one more attack here, and they're going to have to deal with grab as well.
Oh, very aggressive push forward. He catches all 6, but Sinatra manages to find Ding right off the bat. Super going to be taken down, however, and that's going to be the trade-up coming through now for the Shanghai Dragons. Grab committed from Sinatra, looking for some more kills.
The cart.
Moth pushes forward. Koma is pushing the cart, as you say, but Moth is there now to contest. Sinatra still alive, still high energy. Going to be escorted forward by Violet as they just try to gate them off the point. Grab comes in, Sinatra, solo focus.
Someone's going to touch it.
Someone's going to touch it. Someone's going to go into the back. He does manage to get the tag here. Armor comes through, but they focus him down instantly on the back of the shield bash. Gamsu, half HP, the barrier low, the Shatter manages to catch Violet, but he's going to be taken down before he can use the charge. And it seems like the San Francisco Shock, despite how good things started for the Dragons, will be able to deny a finish on Eichenwald.
Spawn advantage does win out in the end. What an impressive turnaround from the Shock after losing A on the first attack from the Dragons. They bought time on B, swapped back over to 3-3, and were able to maintain advantage till the end. Looked extremely unlikely after we saw A and after we saw the drawbridge fights, but what a turnaround.
Still in the game, looking for that tie. Let's see if they can get it when we come back for their half.
Coca-Cola is the official refreshment of the Overwatch League.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Shanghai Dragons unable to finish Eichenwald. So now, essentially a full push going to be needed for Shock. Just a little bit shy of that, and they can tie up this series 1-1.
Yeah, it is very close, this series right now. Shanghai Dragons leading in eliminations, had great starts on both maps, and, you know, it was a solid finish there from the Shock, based on Super's kills that we saw in the castle. So watch what happens here when things get chaotic. He charges back, catches Loopy on the return, gets the Fire Strike kill there, well, mostly a Fire Strike kill, and then is able to solo shatter here onto DM to prevent him from rejoining his squad. So huge plays there that brought everything back in that crazy moment where Ding was trying to push the last few meters of the cart through. But the defense here, we'll see, as you expect, more Sombra.
Of course, we are not done after this match. We have one more coming up for you today. Spark going to be going up against the Spitfire. And honestly, I mean, if Shanghai versus Shock can be this close, who knows what's going to happen in that series. So make sure you stay tuned because you don't want to miss it and see who our first two teams advancing into the semifinals are going to be. But now Shock, it's time for their attack.
Yeah, that should certainly be a close one. Ding scouts the composition. They're not running the Pharah here on the defense, just going to be running Sombra here, Reinhardt, Zarya. Ding style.
Very aggressively and fearlessly pushing forward right now are the Shock. Sinatra getting those bubbles in, getting that damage through, and Super going to find the first kill on their attack here with that Fire Strike. Peeled off the point right now, or the Shanghai Dragons as they try to stabilize, but Super just looking to keep them contained, looking to push them back. Try to find those extra kills, and they're going to have them. So just as fast as we saw from the Shanghai Dragons, Shock are going to cap A.
Now, and Ding didn't really build that much of an EMP during their defense, so that's one of the trade-offs you face when you're in this situation that the Dragons are in is, you know, if you delayed a little bit longer and you got 80% of an EMP, you know you can use it to control some of these chokes. You can start to get an advantage on the high ground. But those things aren't necessarily going to happen. They aren't necessarily going to come true because they don't have their biggest tool yet. So they're going to have to spend some time hacking the backline, harassing, you know, Choi Ho Ben, as, you know, Ding will normally do, hack him and then spam to get that EMP farmed. He's up to 70 now. Getting closer.
Hack comes in. Super, as he pushes forward, was almost devastating, but they managed to keep him alive for a little bit longer. Will be taken down, but the damage is going to be done in favor of the Shock here, as they do come up with 3 kills to 1. So the cart can continue to roll.
Not too ahead is Sinatra in terms of the Zarya ults here, so things can really change in this next EMP fight. It's hard to hide a Sombra on this drawbridge, though. There's not a lot of surface area. You're going to have to translocate around. You can see where Ding is up on the high ground to the right side there. He's going to try to wrap around with the rest of the Dragons to set up for this fight. He's got the EMP now.
Well, pushing forward. Rally's going to be out for Mascals. They lead the charge, and Youngjun's going to be the first one to fall. Super just playing back, bringing up the card. Grab going to be coming in from Sinatra. Catches him right at the entrance. The pin comes in. EMP does come out. Manages to catch 5, but Ding going to be punished right off the back of that one, and now DM going to fall as well. Moth finds another kill off the boop. The double coming through his Koman Gamsu. It sent sailing over the side. We are nearly at 6 minutes for the Shock as they go for the final stretch.
Extremely sloppy fight for the Dragons as well. They're so reliant on that EMP despite being caught in a grab. It's not the first time we've seen this happen. Sinatra likes to grab before the EMP comes out, so there's no follow-up. They could have used the chance to cut their losses, returned to contest with a better EMP, but it didn't happen.
Shatter out, manages to catch 3, but the beat's going to be there from Moth to keep everybody alive. They'll stand back up, and Violet's still holding on to that Transcendence for the response to DM's grab. We'll see that thrown down. Super drops a shatter of his own, catches 2 in the back. And Violet has the trance out to try to keep everybody else safe. Kamsu trying to charge out to stay alive, but Violet will be able to cut him down. The cart continues to roll with 5+ minutes still remaining.
The tempo has certainly changed here for the Dragons.
Oh man, the solo grab, they get the trance out inside the spawn room. Sinatra feeling saucy, cart continues to roll up. They manage to tag at 0.06 meters, but they get pushed off for the moment. And that is going to be the tie coming in 1-1 as Shock take Eichenwald.
Several misread team fights for the Dragons. They're playing too fast. They were not being patient there. They went into situations they could not have won. And the San Francisco Shock crush it, tying us up 1-1 here in the series. What a turnaround. And momentum again shifting back this time to the Shock.
Fantastically done. Well, guys, we'll see you guys on the other side of this break for the next map.
The Overwatch League is powered by Intel. Game, record, stream without compromise on Intel Core i7. And by Omen by HP, the official PC and display of the Overwatch League.
They don't just play for a team. They play for every fan, every rival, every moment, every match. And when everyone watching expects the best, they perform with the best.
Come on. Listen, the map streak had to end at some point. It had to end at some point.
It's got to end sometime, unfortunately, for the San Francisco Shock. Their 28 straight maps are now over here in Stage 2. They dropped game number 1 to the Shanghai Dragons. Welcome back, everybody. It's Puckett here with the desk. We've got Zoe, Brent, Sideshow once again. And if these first 2 games are any indicator of how the rest of the playoffs are going to play out, this is going to be a hell of a playoff, guys. Incredible game.
Yeah.
So tight in both of our first matches.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, last time they faced off against each other, which is, what, a week ago? Not even.
Yeah, not even. Yeah.
Not even a week ago. It already looked like it's going to be a tight game. They did lose, the Shanghai Dragons, it is, but it was a very good quality loss. And right now, I can see why. Like, those teams are familiar with each other. I love the fast paces of the games we saw so far. And I love that San Francisco Shock on map 2 just had enough of it and decided to roll over them. Great game so far.
Our ace seed, Shanghai, breaks in and they steal our first map. Let's take a look back on how they did it. Josh, you were calling out some of the key plays while we were watching backstage. Walk us through some of these, including the Roadhog that came out to open things up for the Shock.
Right, well, basically, Oasis started the way we thought it would, with Ding controlling at the style of how the Shanghai Dragons play. He comes out with the Sombra, and it's Moth's job to try and pressure him away. Rascal got a hack on him, and Choi Obin's trying to pressure him as well. They're playing fast, they're playing aggressive, they're 1-0 up. But then, I mean, it all turned around. They seemed like they couldn't really deal with the Sombra once Shanghai Dragons were in control of the point, and it all fell to pieces.
This was a phenomenal game, I think, from both these teams, at least in map 1, because it seemed like Shock elevated their game in terms of how they were dealing with the Sombra.
Yep.
But Ding as well was fantastic with his priority targets. He was ridiculous. He always knew the right target to hack. Most of the time, Choi Hobin was walking around plodding on the floor, couldn't fly anywhere, couldn't really disable anyone. And we got to point out as well, we got to talk about the elephant in the room here. Violet getting picked off multiple times at the side of these engagements.
Look at this, Poyo. You can't expect a soldier to rocket jump and mow you down, Brett. That's
so
not
cool.
on him.
Yeah.
It's crazy, though. Violet has been one of the first... Violet is normally a player that's pretty stable. When he first came into this team, we criticized him a bit for not being on the same page as the rest of the San Francisco Shock, but he has not had a game like this where he's been caught out so much. And I don't know that it's necessarily his fault, because Ding just had free reign basically all the time. Those rockets are just coming in, there's no pressure. But Violet is dying over and over and over again at the beginning of these fights.
Things were looking good for Shanghai again going into our second map, Eichenwald. But so talk to me, what have you seen from Ding for the Dragons? Because it seems this is the guy who's opening things up.
I mean, he really is. And it honestly looked tough for the Shock again very early on. They didn't quite know how to deal with Ding. Super had to switch over to the Winston to actually start giving some pressure up on this guy. However, Moth was the guy who then ended the road for Shanghai Dragons. Once again, coming in with a fantastic boot followed by a great follow-up kill. And he found a lot of openings for his team. As I said, they really changed the pace of the game on that second map. And Super, he just seemed to be having a shatter available at every opportunity. Where did he get those from?
This is unbelievably lucky from him. I mean, yeah, Super was having a ridiculous game. But what I love about this, I was looking at the Icon Vault map pick and I was thinking, this kind of plays into Dragon's strengths a lot of the while, because they can play these fire comps, they can play the Sombra, but it's when you get into that final section, when there's only one direction the Sombra can come from, it's way easier to try and uncloak Ding when he's on the Sombra, because it's so narrow in this final section. And it was shown here. San Francisco Shock absolutely battered them. It was unbelievable. It was not safe for work. We probably shouldn't have even been showing it on the screens. It was ridiculous. And I mean, that just goes to show as well what you can come to expect from the Shock, because they don't get mentally boomed like that. They turn it around on their opponents and they absolutely blitz them, creating one of the fastest completions. Not even a completion, because, I mean, the Shanghai Dragons didn't even get to 3 points. They got stopped early.
We should highlight, though, that was San Francisco's map pick. If you lose the map, you get to pick the next one. So Shanghai is going to be up next going into Assault. After watching the Dragons so far, seeing that they love playing the Pharah, that they're really showing off with the Sombra, what's a good map pick?
Honestly, I'm not too sure. If their map pick had been hybrid, we were expecting them to go King's Row because that's a clear and obvious choice for the Dragons. When it comes to Assault, I mean, do you play Paris because you can play a lot of fire on the first, or maybe Anubis because you can play fire on first?
This is a really difficult choice for them, because right now, I mean, Shock currently on these maps are undefeated on every single Assault map, whereas the only one that the Dragons have looked reasonably okay with, and even then it's not fantastic, is Paris as a map. So, I mean, you're going to have to go Paris, but, you know, Shock are no slouches on this map.
Well, so all of us picked the Shock to win this match, but you were the one who said that we were definitely going to see them drop a map to Shanghai. If Shanghai is now going to upset and steal this whole series, who are you looking out for? What do you want to see from this team in the second half?
Well, first of all, I'm going to be upset because that will also ruin my prediction overall. So just keep it to one map.
Okay.
But no, I just want them to continue the way they have before, and they need to be very careful that they don't let Shock play their pace. Right now on map 2, it was Shock actually, you know, kind of taking the reins there, and they started like playing a lot faster. So if they manage again to like slow it down a little bit and play around their strength, which means their Sombra, etc., they should be fine. I'd rather see them on Anubis than on Paris, even though they have been looking good on Paris. I do think that from A to B, it will be easier for them to actually stick to their comp rather than having to switch to 3-3 again, which we see them doing on Paris.
All right, well, it's been a fantastic matchup so far, and it's anyone's game. Remember, first to 3 advances to the semifinals. We'll find out which team is moving on first after this. The Overwatch League is brought to you by Toyota, official North American partner of the Overwatch League. Toyota, let's go places.
Hey, man, what's up?
You need anything for today?
Nah, man, I think I'm set.
Big day today, man?
Yeah, huge. Let's play some Overwatch.
any ability that knocks a player away from any location. So for example, you have Winston's Primal,
Lucio, Diva, even like a Ryan charge that doesn't pin someone, it can knock someone like flying away. A good way to get boop elims is you, basically if you're playing on Nepal Sanctum, that's like one of the best maps because it has a death pit. You can wall ride like above point and then drop down, and usually enemy teams won't see it, and then you can get a quick like easy 2 kills.
Ilios Lighthouse, obviously right next to the edge of the map, so if players try to cross to get to that point, you boop them away, knock them off the map.
Ilios Gardens, Ilios Well, all the Ilios maps are pretty good for that.
Some big boops already seen here in this series. Eichenwald did not disappoint. You know, it's super on his Winston, can set up some huge plays, but really, it was kind of Moth taking center stage. That last little bit there on the bridge in front of point B, coming up with some clutch kills.
Yeah, the two of them together, between Moth with the knockoffs and Super's win on the fight in the castle, they're able to regain control over what was a chaotic situation. After they had late swaps for Sinatra and Zarya, they were behind in ult charge. Things looked really bad there on the defense until those two moments happened for both Moth and Super, and that's what really gave them back control, helped deplete that time bank, got them an ult advantage, and it inevitably finished Shanghai's run there. They were not able to take the third point.
Yeah, and that means that we are all tied up at the moment here, 1-1. So either of these teams going to be looking to take the lead in the series as we get ready to move into Assault. Reminder, this is a 1-3, so if we do have a draw, we still have to play 2 more series, 2 more maps perhaps, to try to figure out who the victor is going to be. They're talking about on the desk a lot, trying to figure out where these teams would like to go, where Shanghai would like to go for their Assault pick, and it's going to be Paris. And you remember, you think back to how things went for these guys the last time they played. This map came through, Shanghai beat the Shock's record, and then Shock came back and took it again.
It's a map that...
Twice over.
It's a map that plays to both teams' styles very well. But I feel like a map that the Shanghai Dragons have experimented on a lot and could have been able to steal away a win on a lot, and, you know, or potentially in this series, rather, I should say, was Anubis, right? And I expected them to take us there and have a prepared strategy where they could out-composition the Shock again. But instead, we're just simply going to see the attack Sombra once again. Reinhardt Zarya Sombra, ding on it, versus Violet's Ana here. Is wearing the Ana defense. Rascal on the Brigida, not the Baptiste. So again, just some more of the same. We'll see if the Shock can shut this down again with aggressive play.
Trying to juke this one out. Make them a little confused as to which way they're going to be moving. Will be a shift over into the police station for now for the Shanghai Dragons. Trying to get that left side wrap around. A lot of poke damage going through. As you can see on the health bars there, Bionade gets tossed in, and that is going to be the cleanup here for the Shock. Sleep Dart not going to connect onto Ding. Not sure if he's going to be able to make it out of here with his life intact. Seems like he will be the one member who's able to escape.
But look, I want everyone to look at 2 ult meters in particular, Ding and Gamsu's. Ding only halfway to an EMP, or not even. And Super also way leading over Gamsu. The attacking Ryan has to climb upstairs before it can really do proper damage, really build in the ult charge. You can see how low impact Gamsu was compared to Super on this attack. They're really going to come online once they have that EMP, but that's so far away from now, especially with Ding being revealed here once again. Now they're going to cut off the rest of the squad, the rest of Shanghai.
Yeah, wrap around the back, Luffy under fire, going lower and lower. Sleep Dart connects onto Coma. Super still just playing forward here. They will be able to wake him up. The pin coming in. Gamsu going to be able to match. Transcendence going to be rolling out from Luffy now, trying to keep his team alive. Shatter's still going to be held to grab. Comes in from Sinatra. And that's going to be the cleanup here as Coleman and Youngjit both get taken down. Shock maintain control again.
Shock understanding they had better ultimates. They did way more damage in that last fight. They knew the EMP wouldn't be ready. And they knew if they charged Gamsu, they could commit to a fight there. Super ends up with another Shatter here ready to go. But I have to say, that was basically an unlosable fight for the Shock. Really good understanding of how they could take this fight once again before the EMP is ready. They're taking these heavy fights before Ding can actually get value out of this. He is approaching one more time with the EMP ready now. They don't have any support ultimates to deal with it, but still, they might just take the fight before it happens.
And Moth might be able to build up in time for this beat. Ding waiting for his opportunity, goes ahead, uses the EMP, and Super will get taken down. Luffy going to be in the exchange, however, Sinatra finds the kill, so might be able to turn things around here. Or the Shock as they look to maintain control of the point. A minute and 45 going to be remaining. Super going to be respawned. Moth now with the beat online. Can buy enough time for Super to rejoin.
Yep, respawn advantage for the Dragons as well. Gamsu's looking for a big Shatter.
Shatter solo around the corner. Manages to find Violet, and Moth going to be taken down. Cannot use the beat. No supports to speak of now for the San Francisco Shock. Shanghai Dragons have broken open A.
Really appreciate how the Shock took the fight, though, once again, to the Dragons during that EMP. Almost were able to take it, almost were able to trade well enough to actually get those respawns coming through. They got the EMP. They have now the barrier. They used no ultimates once the EMP came out. They knew they're not playing around trying to get a full hold on A. They're trying to keep ult advantage here on B and eventually get that hold. It's going to be a long hold, but because they have ult advantage, they can certainly start to snowball this back into their favor.
Well, Grab going to be coming through, straight in on Agamsu's shield. They push in up behind him, and the Fire Strike will be able to take him down. Charge forward from Super, going aggro. Looking for the pin there on the Luffy. The charge expires just in time for him to stay alive a little bit longer, but Moth will be there for the alley-oop. They find the kill.
And again, just one or two ultimates at a time is how Shock is going to eventually hold this. Sinatra and Violet use their ults. They've got a rally to push into a neutral fight here. They're going to want to take the fight away from the point this time so that DM can't grab the point and start to get ticks. So they're going to play aggressive, as they have been doing. You can see how far out they're already poking right now. There's no way DM can get big value out of this.
Well, goes ahead, tosses that one down. The Shatter coming out. The Bio Nade takes out Luffy and Coma. Eliminated as well. Shock.
Their whole game plan is to kill their opponents during their ults. You kill them while they tie it to EMP. They can't follow up. They're dying during the EMP. They're dying during their own grab because they're being aggressive. They're saying, I know where you're trying to place this grab, DM. I know what you're trying to set up with this EMP. I'm going to take a fight before you can get to your ideal conditions. And that aggressive playstyle is doing so well for them. It's a slight adaptation to what we saw from them the last time they matched off against the Dragons last week. Ding has an EMP this time, though. A little bit tougher to play around this one, but they've done it well so far.
Hovering into the back. No one's been able to spy check him yet. Push around the corner. Drops in that EMP. Super going to melt down. Shoyuhoben's still going to be hacked out. Can't make his way back into the mech yet, so still going to be stuck as a baby diva. They get the cleanup here on the Rascal. Violet cut off around the side, also hacked. Sinatra ready to have that grab online, but needs to survive. Tries to kite his way around the corner, but will be hounded down by Youngjin. They're in onto the point. 2 ticks already going to be snagged with 3 minutes remaining. They push back in. Gamsu drops the hammer. Super going to be stunned up for the moment. And everybody on the side of the Shock going to get ripped to pieces. The cap comes in. 3:02, 3:01 on the clock here for the Shanghai Dragons.
Good follow-up hack onto Sinatra so they couldn't grab to buy time. Focus fire onto Super again. Very good. Good delays by the Shock in terms of taking fights during their opponent's ults, but they couldn't stop that EMP fight there in the end. So still a chance here for the Dragons to take the lead.
Well, Shock currently have the top 2 records on its up for this map. Let's see if they can break it again when we come back for their half.
Coca-Cola is the official refreshment of the Overwatch League.
And 2 seconds of time to beat for the San Francisco Shock. As mentioned, they have 2 fastest time records here on Paris. Can they break it again? Try to shut down the Shanghai Dragons and take a lead here in this series. Move to match point.
That is the question. that we will see answered in just a moment. Shock with such a great record on this map, it feels like there's no way they don't get the better time bank, but we'll have to see how it breaks down.
Of course, guys, All-Star is going to be coming up next week. We are so close to that. Very excited for the talent takedown as well, as you and I will be playing on that Overwatch League stage for the first time, Wolf. So make sure you guys get your tickets if you're in the area.
They're winning on that stage as well.
Absolutely. No contest.
Let's take a look at the Dragon's composition. They're going to be running the Pharah here, but it's Reinhardt, Zarya, Pharah. So very different. He's not running the Wrecking Ball, not a lot of disruption, it's just extra damage at range in the choke point. So you're not going to trade out ult economy with this, actually, because you're going to still match. DM's going to match Sinatra, and hopefully in their case, beat Sinatra, because they'll be winning these fights. So cool adaptation here for the Dragons, for Paris specifically.
Ding is going to be raining down those rockets from above. Seems like some swaps going to be called out for the Shock.
We could see them try to run hit scan here. We also could see them switch to Baptiste. But it will be Violet going over to Moira. So that's the extra burst healing you need to get through the rockets so you can actually approach the point. Look at all the damage he is doing.
Yeah, I mean, you can see those HP bars, the wheels coming through. They try to separate them. Bubble has to be used on a Moth, still dangerously low as they make their way into the police station. Now going to be trying to contest here onto the high ground. Drop down the barrage, instantly helping to find the kill here on a Super. Good turnaround from Ding. Not going to be able to kill himself off. Faces the opposite direction, so he does not blow himself up. And that's going to be the one fight going to the Shanghai Dragons.
Phenomenal play from Ding there. That was a great barrage, and he was able to turn away at the last possible second there to make sure that he was not going to be, killing himself during the barrage. So now, in terms of ult economy, like I was saying, you keep the Pharah, you keep the advantage in terms of damage from above, but you also win the Zarya ult charge, so you're not losing in any regards, and if you lose this, you'll still have ult advantage for B.
Coalescence going to be used. Gamsu drops the hammer here, manages to find Choi Hilbin, knocks him to the ground, but they are unable to push forward, trying to get that kill. Super actually finds that pin kill, taking him out. A good look now for the Shock as they try to make their way over.
Another barrage
comes in and Ding takes out two.
He's crazy.
Violet and Rascal both going to be eliminated. Now he's back up into the sky, and Super trying to retreat in the corner. He's going to take that rocket straight to the face.
Another barrage built in record time here, and he's able to launch it in the face of his enemies and get value, get kills. He just saved the point. And suddenly, we were worried about what it meant to be, against the Shock here with their crazy time bank. But it's fading, and it's fading fast. They have a grab here for this next push. There's no transcendence for the side of the Dragons. But will Sinatra even be able to get in position to use it? That's the bigger question here.
Rocket still coming down. Violet picked off Ding. He finds another one. DM pushing forward. Moth's going to be stunned.
This isn't the push.
They managed to find it. Bio nades out. Catches two. And Kamsu with a nano boost is pushing forward. He's looking for Sinatra, and he's going to have him. You'd expect one more swing. Can he make it around the corner? Fire Strike gonna whip.
He predicted
doing their best. Violet actually keeps him alive.
This is huge,
coming in. Now they're pushing forward. They're looking to get the punish. Kamsu still staying alive. Bubble comes in, but there's just too much pressure.
Sinatra, the god, he dodged the Fire Strike. He predicted it. Gets the solo grab.
Still so far away from the point, and Violet's gonna be taken down again. Now the answering grab comes in from DM. They're looking for the kills. The barrage comes out. Going to be mitigated by that defense matrix, but DM scoops a double kill, and Super, he's so very low, the barrier is broken. He's got to peel back.
They've only got one more shot at this.
Oh, man.
It was such a clutch play by Sinatra to dodge that Fire Strike. He knew it was coming out. He stepped to the opposite side, solo grabbed and killed Gamsu, but it's not enough. It's not enough here, and the Dragons get to use their grab to hold the choke. And once again, DM is going to pepper all the members of the Shock as they approach. By the time they get there, they might have to use support ults even to just even tag this point.
Trying to displace them again with the concussive blast. This time going to be missing that one. Coalescence used by Violet. Bionade connects on the two, but Moth's got the beat to try to keep everybody alive. Shadow comes down from Super. Not able to find anything, but actually does get Coma. The pin comes in and takes him out. The bomb from Choi Hilbin comes up with a double. San Francisco Shock looking alive here in the final hour as they nearly get full held. Youngjin will get taken down here at the end. The cap will come through, but Shanghai Dragons very well poised to have a superior time bank.
Now, I think that Ding will swap off of the Pharah now, though, despite the fact that he has a barrage. He's going to look to keep it, though. Very risky what he's doing here. You're going to watch this bomb again. But, I think the swap here, it's going to cost them if they don't get value out of this barrage. If he does not swap right now, the Shock are going to catch up in time bank easily. And that's what I'm really concerned about. You don't have an EMP, you don't have a Sombra for this, and Sinatra's close to a grab. This could go very poorly if the barrage is not massive.
Well, for now, it's just going to be the rally.
It's a wide open space here, much harder to get value than it was on A.
Let's see, he's trying to displace somebody, push him forward here onto the point, unable to do so far. Sees Choi Hyobin. Nano's going to be coming in. Doesn't see his opportunity yet, though, so maybe a bit of an overcommitment. Drops down, looking for Violet. Defense Matrix used, however, Choi Hyobin plays forward and just keeps everything denied away. Youngjin, though, does manage to take down Super. So while everyone was distracted dealing with Ding, they lose the front line, and now the Shock, they call the retreat. They're trying to make it out here.
And this is not the first time we've seen...
Oh, the boot back was beautiful!
This is not the first time we've seen the San Francisco Shock get pressured by the fact that there is an ultimate available. Ding's barrage forced Choi Hyobin to play forward and put that defense matrix out early, but it also put the rest of the Shock out of position. They tried to come up there with Choi Hyobin. The damage came through. They get to keep the barrage. I was concerned it would be eaten, and then we're not going to get value. Now that they've taken the win in the time bank, he won't even use it. He'll swap over to the Sombra that I expected him to swap to in the first push. So just using the threat of the ultimate, not the ultimate itself, to put the Shock out of position. No support ults to deal with Sinatra's grab, though, so that's the big issue this time that they're missing.
Oh, grab going to be coming out. Youngjin getting melted down. The bubble comes in, trying to keep it sustained for a little bit longer. Answering grab on the Super! Make sure he can't get that pin. Youngjin stays alive. They get the cleanup. Choi Hyobin's going to be knocked out. Kamsu taken down by Sinatra, but Rascal alone in the corner. Going to be finished off. The retreat has to come in from the Shock yet again. Almost got that first tick, but now going to be under 2 minutes at least for their time bank if they can even cap Paris.
They are just really in the Shock's heads right now. In terms of the ults they're using, Super's playing aggressive. They don't expect DM to look for the solo grab there to counter. If Ding gets an EMP, you could pretty much put a win on the scoreboard for the Dragons. This next push for the Shock, where they have the support ultimates, needs to get Sinatra a grab. They need to use this fight right now to get a time bank to hope to win this map. If they can't win it here, I don't think they're taking it at all. I think the map is ending. This is their best chance, the best ult economy lead they're going to have for the rest of B.
Yep.
It needs to be now.
See what they can get done. Super playing forward, looking to set up for that shatter. Makes his way into the back. Sees the bubbles coming out. He's going to be juggled into the corner of the barrier, trying to keep him alive. Transcenden's going to be used by Luffy. Shatter comes down, catches two in the corner. Bomb up over the top. Choi Hyobin looking for the setup. The shield gets raised by Gamsu. He keeps himself alive for a little bit longer, but Sinatra is there to finish him off. Grab comes in, catching the members of the Shock. But the kills, the kill feed, it's all orange right now. The Shock, they managed to take it. 1 minute and 14 remaining. But Shanghai, they still have the time bank advantage.
That's the fight they needed to win. They pulled it off, but it is far from over here. A sigh of relief is all you're going to see on the face of the Shock players. They know this map is very difficult to win right now, given the time bank and the composition we're seeing from the Dragons.
On a knife's edge, let's see what happens in the overtime rounds when we come back. And here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Defense first for the Shanghai Dragons as they come out with a superior time bank in overtime. 3 minutes, 2 seconds for them. Only 1 minute and 14 to the Shock.
It's been a season of firsts for the Dragons. First win, first playoffs.
First team to shut down the 28-map win streak.
First team to shut down 28, and this is coming from the team that last season went 0-40 themselves. You know, the crowd here, usually San Francisco favored, but, you know, I feel like Shanghai Dragons winning some of the hearts of the fans here in this playoff match tonight. They could pull off the upset. 1 minute is all there is, and that's barely enough time to build ults as it is. Ding once again on the Pharah to try to shut down this choke, and he gets the kill!
And that's going to be Rascal taken down first and foremost. Youngjin will be traded out. Now Koma going to be eliminated as well.
Overextension
Something
here.
to work with here, but around the back, Ding gets a shot on the Super. The heal tonight comes in. The bio setup from Luffy. Catches Moth. He gets taken down, but still, it's just an all-out brawl over here on the point. Ding trying to play by himself.
This is a weird fight. It's a D.Va versus a Pharah here on the point. The Shock are going to get the respawn advantage here. DM is down.
Yep. Seems like they will be able to take this one. Just a little bit scrappier in favor of the Shock.
Horrible for the Dragons that they were unable to contest this. They had a massive advantage in time bank, and even taking A should have been very unrealistic for the Shock here. They overextended. They played to the damage that came out of the Pharah, and kills came through. Super comes up big once again. We will see the swap over to Sombra here for the Dragons. which is going to make it harder for this push to get B. But even still, this could have been a much better situation for the Dragons. Feels rough to lose like that on A.
Now it's going to be setting up those crucial hacks over onto the point. Coalescence coming out. Gomsu receiving the bubble right as he gets stunned. Still going low, down to about half HP. Shatter going to be online. Goes around the corner for the moment, but the Shatter goes straight into Super Shield. Tries to get the pin, gets pushed back for a moment. Gomsu's still going to be alive, but dangerously low. Is trying to get sustained back up. One tick going to be surrendered over to the Shock so far. The second one coming on the grab off the corner here. They keep them contained, and they nearly get it. So very close here. It's going to be in overtime if they can get across the finish line. Transcendence is out from Luffy. Gomsu comes in with a pin, manages to find a kill on the Moth. Violet going lower and lower. Nearly another Coalescence built up for the Moira in the fight. Luffy going to be taken down now. Gomsu eliminated. They will be able to get the finish here in overtime. Now they need to hold them off if they want to take this win. Otherwise, we're looking at a draw and we'll still be 1-1.
This map has slipped through the Dragons' fingers. They had all the advantages. Not only did they mistakenly take a fight in that choke with the Pharah, lose, but they then gave over ult advantage. They gave Sinatra the first grab on the follow-up fight, and Ding swapped off the Pharah. He went over to the Sombra, hoping that a rogue hack, or maybe in the longer fight, perhaps, if it did occur, he would get an EMP off. But it doesn't happen that way. And when you looked at the ults leading into that B push, you know, sometimes everyone thinks about time bank, right? How realistic is it for them to take B? It's really about the ults who get on A, and whether you get the double cap. We see fast caps on this map all the time. And that lost fight for the Dragons is not A. You have to think about that differently, you know, fans at home. That's a loss on B as well, because you've given the ult charge, you have to swap composition. And 1 minute to get both. Now the Dragons are wondering, can I do it in 3? And it's about winning that first fight. Because if you lose this first fight now as the Dragons, the same ult problems they faced just now on the defense, they'll face on the attack. And as you say, I mean, it feels like perhaps the best case scenario, we're looking at a draw here for them. Even though they started with 2 minutes, the leader in time bank. What a turnaround off of just one mistake. Everything can change in an instant in competitive Overwatch.
Well, we'll see what happens this time out. Ding going to be on the Sombra. Again, here as they start pushing their way forward. Going to be the right side approach as they try to get over into the police station. The drop down, though, so very aggressive from the Shock. And there's not going to be any trade backs here for the Shanghai Dragons. They just clean up house super at 80% for that Shatter.
You can dive, you know, as 3-3 with a speed boost on top of the attacking team when they don't have a diva in particular. There's no disruption. You know, we had that insights just earlier about boops, right? Where Super was talking about all the knockback. You're missing that here when you're running the Sombra. So, you know, the attacking team that's diving down from the high ground in this composition has that extra advantage. Now the Shatter's ready.
Oh, and Luffy just going to get picked off. Sinatra finds it, which means it's Super. Just going to push forward aggressively. Cleans up even more. Should share with his teammates. He's already got the Shatter online. Let them give some extra charge.
I think the Dragons are going to have to figure out a way to get value of this EMP more than just slowly walking forward and hitting it, because Violet should have the trance ready. They might need to look for a major hack. So right-click hack into an EMP, prevent the trance. I think just walking up and EMPing alone is not going to be enough, given the Shock's ult advantage. They will have grab.
Transcendence as well, getting ready. Super drops down. Wrap around the back. No one getting picked this time from the side of the Shanghai Dragons.
EMP's up before trance is ready. There's an opportunity here, a real opportunity.
Fire strikes through. Still just going to be that full left side wraparound from the defender's perspective. Playing this one out slowly, but again, they're very limited on time. Into the back, Ding coming through. He catches both supports. Violet going to be hacked down. They managed to take him down. Gomsu, DM, and Youngjin, however, going to be eliminated. Super coming up clutch with a double kill.
Shock just cut the team in half. There was no way to get the follow-up damage, even though they hit Violet and prevented the trance. Everyone else was losing, you know, essentially a 5v4 fight. And this was a very smart decision by the Shock, again taking the fight to their opponents during their ult win conditions. The EMP is where they lose the fight.
Violet going to be taken down. Ding finds that kill. Now the Transcendence going to be out of the fight. Moth is still 30% away from that sound barrier. A chance here for the Shanghai Dragons as they make their way over onto the point. Shock have to play this one out slowly.
They look like they want to contest it, though.
Yep. They're playing forward. Shatter out. Catches 3 on the side of the Shock. Stun comes in. The kills aren't there yet. Still a fighting opportunity for the Shock. This one around the beat going to be used by Moth. Built that one up in time. Transcendence going to be used. They play up into the front. Luffy trying to keep his team alive. Now it's going to expire. The beat's going to be there.
Sinatra?
Another shatter in. Kamsu gets the pin on the Sinatra. Rascal going to be taken down. It's going to be a 2 for 3 right now in the favor of the Shock. Now they lose out onto another member. His Moth's going to be eliminated. But He's still going to be there. Trying to pilot pistol his way back into the mech. That's going to be the trans out ding. He can't do anything. He's going to drop down. He can't get there in time. They maintain the hold. And the Shock, they move up 2-1.
Also remember, this was without Violet. Ding isolated and killed him when he was coming back from spawn. They basically won this 5v6. What an incredible turnaround. Dragons, they blew a massive lead. How do you keep yourself, motivated going into potentially the final map?
Well, let's see if they can do it. 2-1 match point for the Shock. Can we tie it up again? We're going to find out in just a minute.
The Overwatch League is powered by Intel. Game, record, stream without compromise on Intel Core i7. And by Omen by HP, the official PC and display of the Overwatch League.
Welcome to Assist of the Week, presented by State Farm. AKM on the Dallas Fuel was under assault by the Houston Outlaws Winston, played by Muma, and just about to get knocked out when the Fuel's own Unko stuck a clean sleep dart to save his teammate and win the fight.
Comes in from Unko. He's safe. And they manage to find the kill.
Welcome back, everybody. The San Francisco Shock is leading the series against the Shanghai Dragons 2-1. Now, during halftime, I got to talk to Shanghai Dragons, and they told me that winning Oasis wasn't luck at all. As for their word, they told me that they have been planning to use the DPS comp and the Sombra Ghost all along, and also they feel strongly about their DPS players. Shanghai also told me that, quote, they have a lot of tricks up their sleeves. So let's see if they could win against one of the stronger teams in the Overwatch League. That was it for me. Now let's head over to Mika Burton, who has more information on San Francisco Shock.
Thanks, Danny. I got to talk to San Francisco Shock during halftime, and they told me that even though they lost the golden stage streak, it did not phase them entirely because it was bound to happen eventually. As for the reason Map 1 did not go their way, they said they gave the Dragons a bit too much space, but now their heads are back in the game, and the Shock is confident that we will be seeing them in the semifinals. Their great chemistry and teamwork is what has helped them be so dominant so far, and we will just have to see how this all turns out. So, Wolf and Achilleos, back to you.
Thank you. I appreciate this little ping pong we got going back and forth, pinballing around to all the different voices. But good to hear the insights from both of the teams. The preparation from the Dragons looking good. Shock identifying those issues that they initially experienced on Oasis and trying to compensate for them. Paris was definitely rough around the edges, but they got the win in the end.
Yeah, it all goes back to that overextension from the Dragons, and that's what allows the double cap. And as mentioned, by Korean commentator Karos on the other side of the streams, and we were getting into it as well, right before we jumped to this map, mentality is everything for the Dragons right now. When you have taken the win streak, you've taken that, stopped it. You've then taken a better time bank on Shock's map. They beat you last time, broke the records. You've had the better time bank. You lose control. can't win A. You win a team fight, still can't take A. You pick your best map here in Rialto, I think, for the Sombra and also for the Pharah play. This is their battleground. They definitely want to fight on here. It's their best chance of taking the shock. You've got to stay calm. First playoffs for the organization. And the Shock are big favorites supposed to make it to the finals. If you could stay composed here, I mean, what are you afraid of?
Well, Ding trying to play this one out a little sneakily here. Rascal, very nice shield bash, puts himself back over onto the bridge, so not going to be finding that cheeky little boop. Rocket's still going to be raining down from above, but so far not finding too many connections. So will be a bit of a delayed build towards that barrage.
Yeah, not doing a ton of damage this time around, as the Shock are able to avoid damage.
Yep, Bubbles coming in. Luffy going to be taken down. Aggressive push forward comes in for the San Francisco Shock, and that is going to be Super getting 2 for 1 off the pin.
Normally, when you are running this far, you're doing so much damage that the Shock have to approach slowly. So you have your Zenyatta forward. You do have the rest of your team very far forward. But in this case, the Shock were taking almost 0 damage. So having Luffy that far forward actually really cost them. And the Shock were able to just speed boost forward, take him out, and kill the rest of the squad. And now they don't have ultimates either to control this choke. So Shock are feeling very good about this situation.
There they are. Charging forward here, just shy of 3 minutes remaining on the clock. But Luffy finds a very nice pick off here as Rascal will get taken down. Ding playing right up onto the cart, going lower and lower, trying to survive. Pushes his way up into the sky, sees that Violet. He's got a sliver of HP, but he just can't hound down that Moira. Barrage now going to be online. They bought enough space.
Huge turnaround here, getting that pick onto Rascal. And now they can go back to where they were. They can play forward again. They have this barrage, as you mentioned. They're not worried about Super Shatter. Here's the Coalescence.
The Coalescence going to be coming in. Super going lower and lower as the grab hits as well. Mirage on top of it all. And that's going to be the team wipe coming through. Troyobin just going to be going straight into the canal.
Oftentimes, the Coalescence is what you're afraid of as the Pharah when you're doing this barrage, because it's one of the more consistent range damages that can actually knock a Pharah out of the sky during barrage, along with Choyobin diving in. We're going to take a look at this again. He knew the Coalescence was used, and he knew he had advantageous angle here with the grab, so why not just use this here, use the ult combo, and shut this down, maintain that positional advantage. Need to make sure to back off here now, though.
Boop out going to be coming through onto Super, trying to isolate him, but the grab comes in and manages to find Youngjin. Now Koma going to be taken down. Gamsu finished. A sliver of HP not going to be enough to try to stay alive through that fire strike. So exploding back in are the Shock. They get the fight victory and they get point A.
So in this situation, it's really hard to decide whether you want to keep the Pharah or if you want to swap over to the Sombra, because you have this open space still to work with, as you can see, around this bridge. But the Shock have already crossed the bridge. The cart is moving across. I don't know if they're ever going to get a barrage like they did previously anymore, because it's just not the same sort of control that you have. You don't have that choke anymore that everyone has to spill through. It's much more open. But Ding looking for the Rascal pick.
Yeah, hovering lower and lower. Rascal getting himself into the underpass. The stun comes in, but he's not going to be taken down. The rally going to be used, and now the beat coming in. Gamsu on the other side. Caught out. Super punishes that. Comes up with a kill. Luffy's still going to be committing to Transcendence despite the fact that they don't have their tank. Shadow going to be dropped in by Super. Stuns up 1, but it's not going to lead to a kill outside of Youngjin getting taken down. Ding is still hovering up into the sky, putting down pressure, but it's just not enough. The cart continues to advance.
This is looking really bad for the Dragons. It's a choke point that they have to deal with here, so it's hard to run the Sombra. We've seen so much success with Sombra on this map. They do swap, and this is a fight they don't want to be taking.
Oh, the drop down. The Gamsu comes in by himself effectively. Bomb out from Troyobin, manages to find Luffy. And the grab is used by DM as well.
You know, we talked about mentality. We talked about keeping yourself in check. This is certainly warning signs that they are not. You want to save that grab. You want to let them have the point. Because, yes, they're going to get the time bank, but your grab isn't going to save it. You want to use the grab out in the open here to then get an EMP and then use that ultimate metronome we were talking about. Grab into EMP, EMP into grab. They don't get it.
Up into the front, getting juggled around, going lower and lower. Shatter going to be blocked out. A couple members still going to be hit. It's going to be Rascal and Sinatra. The latter lives, but Rascal's gone and Troyobin gets knocked out of the mech, so more space wrapped here for the Shanghai Dragons.
We usually don't talk about Gamsu's Rhine as one of the key members, or, you know, one of the key parts of Shanghai, but he is really coming up big today with these shatters, and that's another one of those that's going to save you when you're down on ultimates, when you're trying to get that EMP up. Massive plays. He's got 82% of the next one.
Shatters out from Super. Just to catch a little bit here. Shatter out from Gamsu, this time going to come up short. Transcendence, or Coalescence rather, out from Violet. The EMP comes in, hacks out 5. They're unable to get any kills off the back of that one. Now that the hack's expired, they find Super, but the grab comes in from Sinatra. Ding going to be taken down. The rest of them trying to escape. DM getting juggled around, tosses in his Graviton Surge, but the beat's going to be there from Moth to try to keep everybody alive, and DM actually kills himself off with the right clicks.
Very ill-fated timed grab there. Again, 2 back-to-back bad grabs from DM. And I think it's safe to say the mentality of the Dragons is shattered. They saw victory, they saw blood in the water, they thought this could be, you know, our first playoffs and a win against the Shock, but it doesn't feel like it's going to happen anymore.
Bomb out from Shoyhoben, just trying to buy some additional space. DM going to be soaking that up to get some energy. Gamsu retreats, but now he's got to play back 4, and he's just going to crumble. Sinatra finds the kill. Beat comes out from Coma as he plays up onto the cart. But he is the only one who's really able to tag in right now. The Coalescence going to be coming through from Violet, just trying to beam him down. Will be able to find the kill. The right click's coming out now. Looking for DM. The bubble doesn't last nearly long enough, and he can't retreat into that spawn. Gamsu drops back down, pushed away from the cart, however, as it starts to roll forward. Just over a meter left to go. Trying to buy as much time as they possibly can, but it's still going to be 2+ minutes for this of the Shock.
And this is just further, you know, I feel like when you look at this series, you looked at how it started, the Shanghai take the first win. You feel incredible, right? Look at the other side. Super says it was bound to end eventually, our streak. You could see the experience of the members on the Shock. A lot of them have been playing since last year. They have been in situations like this before. They lost their streak. Shanghai Dragons, team full of contenders players, rookies, and they get that lead. It gets thrown away as we head into Hybrid on the Eichenwald. Then you see coming up next.
Of course, we're going to have Moth here on the watch point desk. So make sure you guys stay tuned for that after the series. We'll see what his thoughts are on the series. You know, if they can close it out. Obviously, Shanghai's still going to have a fighting chance here to try to turn things around. 2:05, a beatable time.
So how do you keep yourself in this position where you know Shock have 2 minutes of time bank right here? In a map it's tough to finish in the first place. How can you hope to beat that? How can you keep yourself motivated? If they do this and bring us to a 5th map after, you know, first of all, they have to get to the end, then, you know, defend, then go to game 5. If the Shanghai Dragons can do that, this contenders roster, if they could do that, what an incredible feat it would be. I mean,
yeah,
it would be a map that everyone will remember.
Absolutely. Coming out on the attack, seems like Ding going to be looking for that Pharah yet again. Coma backing him up for the pharmacy. Youngjin, okay, swapping over towards the Ana. Going to get some of that additional healings up into the sky. Maybe try to knock somebody down with a sleep dart. Will think better of it. Swaps back over onto the Brigitte.
All right, this is really risky what the Dragons are doing, but it could pay off. He's got a good angle here. If he can get a single kill, that's all they need. Shoyhoben even looking for the Mercy, gets him.
Yeah, Coma going to be taken down, but it's going to be a trade up here for the Shanghai Dragons. Youngjin heal denied from that bio name. Cart not advancing yet at the moment. And Gamsu very far forward. Super trying to stay alive though. Shield going to be raised. Trying to get some heals in onto that Reinhardt. But Gamsu with a fire strike manages to take him down. That buys so much space for the Dragons.
All right, this is huge. This is an incredible time bank lead potential for the Dragons if they can win this next fight. They can control the bridge with a far. You can see Ding just flew up. So they can control this bridge and push this cart through. Look at the angle they have. Shoyhoben.
Oh, Violet's just going to be sniping one of them out of the sky. Almost got Coma as well. Nano going to be thrown in onto Super, though, trying to keep him alive. Dangerously low there, as you can see, but that burst healing comes in. Help mitigate that damage, and Gamsu's going to be taken out. Sleep dart onto DM, into the corner. He said he is gone. And Shock, they managed to get the hold here for a little bit longer.
A long time ago, Ana's damage, Violet's the Ana player, was nerfed, so we didn't see too much of this where the Ana would knock Pharahs out of the sky, but it can still happen. Huge play there by Violet, because without that pick, it becomes so much more difficult to stop them on the bridge. And now what was a massive lead, again, slips through the Dragon's fingers. Barrage is ready now, but getting the angle is the tough part through this choke point.
Ding would love to get rid of Violet, knows that sleep dart could be a major thing. Shut up down. Super coming in from behind. Gets a shatter. DM going to be taken for a ride. Barrage is out from Ding, but the D-Matrix is there, and Moth finishes him off with the right click. San Francisco Shock still holding on. Now under 2 minutes left for the Shanghai Dragons as they try to stack up some additional ultimates to get this payload across the finish line at point A.
They've missed the barrage. They end up getting caught by Super's flank. They panic and use the barrage anyways. Their greatest tool to really open this up. They failed first because Violet shot Ding out of the sky. Now Super makes a big play with the Shatter. And the Dragons, every advantage they had, all that momentum is gone. And they could try to grab, but there's a sound barrier to answer for that. Sinatra has his own grab. And they've got a bio grenade to toss right in. This might be the end of the series right here.
Sinatra just playing back around the corner. Energy building up. Grab comes in straight on top of the cart. DM answers with one of his own, but Youngjin's already going to be taken out. Beat there from Moth. Nano Boost going to be held onto to try to keep somebody alive. We'll see. It's going to be invested onto Super as he pushes forward. Shatter's still going to be there, but just swinging away, trying to finish off Gamsu here at the end. And with the help of that shield bash from Rascal, they will be able to get it. Under a minute as the reset comes in for the Pharmacy. Super messing up the pin, unable to save Sinatra's life, but he's got a fairly fast run back, so we'll be able to join back in.
I'm at a loss to tell Shanghai fans as to what to hope for here, what to look for here, because
the fastest EMP you've ever seen.
And even that's not going to be enough. We're looking at a 2-minute time bank. They're struggling to get A. Shock wrapping around again. Super potential flank here. He's spotted. Dragons are actually chasing. They want this fight now.
He's looking for it. This could be it. The bomb going to be thrown in. Everybody stuck inside of the room trying to exit. Bomb from Choihoban, not going to be able to find anything. The Shatter coming down, but Gamsu's going to be bigger. Moth going to be eliminated. Violet taken down. No supports in the fight. Coma going to be the only one traded back. They will be able to roll across. Scrappy fights is where Shanghai excels. They find another one. They get point A.
Gamsu comes up big again with the Shatter. But now the Dragons, this is not enough. Don't celebrate yet, Dragons fans, but now they need to win every single fight if they want to hope to finish this map or to even get half the time bank of the Shock. Losing members like Ding, who's looking for a greedy EMP charge, is not going to be beneficial to that. But they basically have to win every fight now with the ult advantage that the EMP will bring. And they're pushed back across the bridge.
Yeah, losing out on Ding does cause them to have to retreat. EMP nearly there as he tries to get it here.
They can do this if they can build this EMP.
Grab going to be coming out from Sinatra though. Hack on the Choihoban, but kill's still going to be there. Swinging away into the front. Another shutdown comes through with reset in for the Shanghai Dragons.
Luffy unable to get the trans off there to save them. Wanted to save it. Perhaps, or perhaps he didn't have it. Either way, you know, this EMP is going to have to turn the tides. And I think it's just a little bit too late. Bridge controlled by Super right now. The threat of the Shatter means they have to play slow as he does walk back. Here's the setup.
Oh, going to be stunned out of it. Super gets punished and he's going to fall. Youngjin still staying alive. Gets pushed back for the moment. Transcendence forward from Luffy as Choihoban will get taken out of the mech. So again, the Dragons going to be able to keep pushing forward.
It's still going to take a miracle. They use the trance. That's one less tool they're going to have to help control this high ground. They do at least hold this Graviton, and it's an early trance from Violet.
Oh yeah, Violet going to be committing this one.
Opportunity.
Try to retake, so now DM just wait for that to expire. Has the grab online, and Moth needs to land a big beat. And the Dragons, Shock really need to hope that the Dragons can't follow up on the back of the grab.
All right, here we go. Drop down from the high ground. The grab's in.
Yeah, instantly dove on top of that one. Did Super. Beat does come through. No kills on either side for now. Beat going to be matched by Coma. Shatters out from Gamsu, finds Rascal right up into the front, but he can't go in for the pin. The pop from Choihoban managed to find Luffy. Rascal will be finished off here in the end, but the card's still going to be halted with 24 seconds remaining for the Shanghai Dragons.
Ding needs that EMP for the grab.
Going to have the grab ready. Luffy still far away from the Transcendence. The grab comes in. DM and Youngjin going to be taken down. Need I name more? The cleanup is there. Dragons. One more attempt to try to tag, but it's going to be on the back of Ding, alone in the Sombra.
He's going to try to hide here. There's no way.
They know he's nearby. Super detecting him. Will push forward, instantly melted. Moth finds the kill, and I don't think anybody else is going to be able to make it. Gamsu comes around the corner. They stun him up, and that is it. The San Francisco Shock, they take Rialto, they take the set. They're moving on to the semifinals.
Very impressive stuff from the Shock here. A harder series than it was last time against the Dragons, who made it even tougher. For the Dragons, this is going to be a series they remember. This will be a series that they've learned so much from about mentality, about staying composed. The Shock have been here before, they've done it before, and they are now one step closer to a second stage finals.
I mean, you have to remember, this is only just the second playoffs for the San Francisco Shock. Made it to the finals the first time out. Can they do it twice in a row? Given a hard time by the Shanghai Dragons, but with their first playoff appearance, I think you go home relatively happy there. These guys put up one hell of a fight. Unfortunately, it was not enough for them to come out on top.
I think you certainly do feel good about this if you're the Dragons. No one expected them to take a map. They had advantages on several other maps they lost. It's about getting that last 10%. It's about keeping yourself composed.
Well, guys, we've got Mika standing by on the floor with Super for an interview, so let's go ahead and throw down.
Super down here. Everybody give it up for Super. Congratulations. You're moving on to the semi-finals, which is awesome. But I gotta say, you guys lost the golden map streak. Is that kind of a sad moment, or is the pressure off? Are you happy about it?
I mean, it's got to happen at some point. So, I guess better now than, having to worry about it later. So I guess, honestly, it didn't really matter to us. So.
Well, that's a good way to look at it. Yeah. And I gotta say, earlier on Watchpoint, we heard you say that Sombra is a crutch and only inferior teams use Sombra. However, we did see San Francisco Shock kind of pull out the Sombra on map 2. So, any comments?
Yeah. So you have to listen. When someone else abuses Sombra, like the sloppy team, then you gotta use Sombra and let them know that it's not okay. That's just how it goes. I don't make the rules here.
See, Super, this is why I love having you down here. You always bring the spice and you always bring the fun. So thank you so much. That was a phenomenal answer. Well, we got some spice down here, and it's just the first day of the playoffs. So Wolf and Achilleos, back to you. Let's see what else happens.
Thank you, Mika. I mean, first day first match, but let's go ahead and see who our player of the match, led by Omen by HP, is. Then it's going to be Moth. Again, I mean, coming up clutch pretty much the entire series, but especially on Eichenwald, those standout boops coming through, but he had them laid out throughout the entire thing.
Yeah, he stole the show here on Eichenwald with the boops, but also his sound barrier timings against a lot of what the Dragons were doing is what really earns him player of the match here. The guy looked solid across the entire series, whereas some of the members of Shock, often were, I think, under the pressure of those EMPs. He was not. And ends up getting 4 environmental kills here total. But this is about ult timing. This is about getting his team in the right position, speed boosting in, knocking some of the Dragons players, catching them off guard, catching them isolated. And the Lucio player is often underrated in this meta, and credit has to be given where credit is due.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's honestly, as of late, it seems like more and more supports are getting put into the limelight. Slime, another huge Lucio players for the Vancouver Titans, who has been netting himself
IDK,
some players of the match, IDK, Unko, etc. So it's a good time to be a support player. Noah will be happy about that one playing at home, even though he's going to lose the talent takedown. But guys, we're just getting started today. We got one more match coming up. It's going to be the London Spitfire going up against the Hangzhou Spark. So stay tuned, because you don't want to miss it. We'll figure out who our other team in the semifinals is going to be.
The Overwatch League is powered by Intel. Game, record, stream without compromise on Intel Core i7. And by Omen by HP, the official PC and display of the Overwatch League.
Agonię готовности.